Welcome back to the podcast. So excited to have the legendary Katie Day. Katie only has one name. It's Katie Day. Katie, welcome to the show.
Thank you.
So hold back. First of all, I'm going to have to
Thank
give
you.
like
Really
have to have, like, a training.
full-on microphone
What
training.
are you doing over here?
We're doing a podcast. Thank you for making your way from Houston to Dallas.
Yep.
We are joined by Jason Pantana and Courtney, aka the Cat Lady. We're gonna have to start the Cat Lady
With the dog Instagram account.
with the dog Instagram account, which we'll get into that later. This is not about you two. This is about Katie Day. Katie, I am obsessed with people that have figured out how to scale themselves. That's like my obsession. Like people that have realized everything is better on a team. Like if you, what's the old line? Like if you want to go fast, go alone. But if you want to go for a long period of time, like you want to really, and I'm totally botching that story, but you all know
Exactly
what I'm talking
how it goes,
about.
yeah.
But like you got to be on a team. So for the people that don't know you, and you're on Clubhouse, which still makes me laugh. I'm just busting your chops.
I'm aware.
Please give people some backstory, like how long you been in the business, where do you work, what's the size of your team look like today, how many transactions you're doing, and then we're gonna get into a bunch of the weeds.
Yeah, for sure. So got into the business full time in 2017. Individual, Long time ago. Feels like it.
Yeah.
As an individual agent, my husband got in full time with me in the summer of 2017. We
Yeah.
both kind of did our own thing.
Yeah.
And then in 2018, we decided that it would be a good idea to start a team. I actually, funny enough, won a free coaching call with you back in 2018.
Yeah.
And you basically, told me for all of the questions I had, you're like, throw those away. Those are shit. We're like digging in deep and like completely tore apart my business. So that was cool.
Yeah.
But one of the things that you were like, you need to hire another agent ASAP. So we did that. And
Because you guys were killing in your second year.
yeah, I think it was like 87 homes.
Yeah,
or
that's
two.
kind of good,
decent.
for your second year in the business. For a part-timer.
Yeah, no.
Yes.
So we decided to go full time at that point.
Yes.
After I talked to you, you were like, you need to go full time. So we started the team in 2018.
Yep.
2019 did a lot of hiring, a lot of firing, a lot
Yep.
of quitting,
Yeah.
a lot of trial and error. And then we kind of got a decent agent avatar by the end of like 2019 into 2020, and then grew in 2020. So we ended last year with 4 agents, and now we're 9 total agents and 3 admin.
And how many transactions, for context, will you guys do this year, 2021?
We're going to end the year at probably around 200 closed and pending, a little over 200.
And what's the goal for next year?
The goal for next year is 400.
400. I like it.
Ish,
Scaling.
plus or minus.
Scaling. I like it. Okay, so we want to unpack a lot here. Are you two working together now?
We are.
Okay, so I wonder why you got the eyes of like, I'm going for 400 here, coach. You buying this? So what did you do before real estate?
I was in property management. So I
Okay.
did that for 8 years or so.
And what did you do before property management?
I was in college,
Okay, where'd you go to school?
University of Tampa.
Okay.
I was born.
Born, right? No, but I'm trying to, people are always looking for connecting the dots.
Yeah.
So when I hear property management and then I hear your success, I say, well, of course, right? Like used to lots of transactions, used to solving problems all the time, dealing with a lot of different people. Like, so that just like, that makes sense to me. But then I want to get like the backstory. So
Yeah.
college, property management. So why did you leave property management and why did you go into residential real estate?
I mean, it kind of sucked. Like I got to the point that, and how everyone gets into real estate, I was tired of managing people. I wanted to work for myself. I wanted, that flexible schedule.
We all start going,
No, but
Set my own hours.
it was difficult. I got to the point in my career that I was only managing people, but like I was responsible for a lot of things, but then like you would be responsible for something, but I would get in trouble when it didn't get done.
Right.
And like that kind of bureaucratic bullshit was just like not something that I was a fan of. And I was working really hard for like a decent 6-figure salary with like a 20% bonus at the end of the year. So like the unlimited earning potential was definitely huge for me. In Texas, like apartment locating and rental locating is a big thing. So like I would see the checks that we were writing to real estate agents and I'm like, holy shit, that's like way more money than I'm making in a month.
Right.
So it's like there could be potential here. So I was like, I was leaving my job and I was like, I'll try it for 6 months and see what happens. And
Can I ask a question intertwined?
Please.
So when you went into real estate, where did you get your business from out of the gate?
That's it. You're going right to where, like, how did you do 87 transactions? Your
Tractor
second year in the
beam.
business.
So these are cute. I'm glad we have these.
Yes.
I feel like this needs a purpose. I don't.
Yes.
Yeah. Not sure why it's here. But I like
This
it.
is so ugly, but I just, This is like, I want to do Yoda on this side.
That's what I thought it was at
reminds me
first
of.
when I
Yes.
came in here.
Well, you
Yes.
guys, you have the graphic from the Halloween post y'all use.
I do.
Yeah.
I do. Okay, let's go back to where do your business come from? Like, how am
more
I
interested
the
in
non-ADD one in
the
this
Yoda,
interview?
Yeah. Anyways. Yeah. So
What did you do to get started?
First year, I did all rentals.
Okay.
I sold 2 homes to 2 of my friends.
Smart.
And then I did like 50 rentals. It was just
Where'd you
turning
get the
and burning.
rental? Where'd you get the rental leads from?
I posted homes on Craigslist, and then when people
Yeah.
called me, I
Yes.
would tell them that I could show them as many homes as they wanted, and then I was driving all over the Houston metro. It was terrible.
Yes.
And like I thought, like
That was in your script. It's terrible.
no, well, in my head, I was like,
Yes.
"God, this is terrible." But
Right.
no, I mean, like I thought I was killing it, right? Like,
Sure.
because you think like rentals, you get like $1,000 a pop or maybe more.
Right.
And
But you were
know.
getting steady deals, steady income.
So I did that, and
Do
then
you recommend that for new agents?
So like no, time
So
versus
like
money.
no, yes.
No. I was
Okay.
trying to think of something like eloquent to say, but no, I wouldn't. It's terrible.
Yeah. Okay.
We get on the agents on our team that they should be focused on the sale business, and like the rentals are great. I've had many repeat rental clients.
Sure.
Repeat clients then turn into buyers, turn into sellers, all that. But that's a long-term game.
Yeah.
Focusing in on buyers and open houses and people that want to transact now is way
Lucrative.
way more lucrative.
Yeah.
Significantly.
So you said I'm going to give it 6 months, and you fall into what sounds like the trap of rentals, good and bad.
Yeah.
How did you then transition out? And what early stage lead sources did you get into? What did you test? What didn't work? What worked?
So Sphere, obviously, got a lot more business as I started to get more into real estate and all that from Sphere and personal clients. At the time, we owned a gym. So, when someone's paying $100 to $200 a month for a gym membership, they normally have enough money to buy a house. So that was a great source of business for us. Wouldn't recommend opening a gym to people
Just to
for
get.
that.
But,
Why'd you start a gym? I'm looking for real estate clients.
no,
Well, Katie's now selling franchises to her gym, which is really just an open house.
Yeah, no,
Yes.
but
Comes with weights.
that was a great source of business. I mean, we sold a lot of houses to gym members and friends
Right.
of gym members. But
Right.
but all that's personal clients. You can do that at a gym.
Were you like
too.
walking around like going, give me 20, you should buy a house? Like,
No, but we did. I mean, as y'all know, like we had all of my shirts that I wear say MOVEMETOTX on it. We had a banner in the gym.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For sure.
But so personal clients in Sphere. We had a corporate client that sold a lot of houses. That was the one that you told me that I needed
Yeah.
to stop doing
Yeah,
that.
I remember. No, okay, you should tell that story
About our call or about.
about that one specifically. I was like, that's horrible.
Yeah, but I was making in my head again, similar with the rentals. I was making good
Tell
money.
the story.
Tell the story. I want to hear it.
Oh my god! So basically, I was working.
As soon as you said it, I remember the whole story. Like, go. I love this.
I was hoping you had forgotten about that. So basically, I was working this corporate client that it was a discounted commission, but it was a large volume. So that was probably 50 or 60 of my 70, 80 deals, right, on the year. So in my head, I'm like, okay, cool. I'm making,
And she made no money.
Hey, you just spoiled it.
moral of the story, I made no money. But yeah, so I was making like decent money as a whole on a volume basis. And, we have this conversation and he starts breaking it down. He's like, well, what's the commission? Well, if that was a regular retail deal from a seller that you were charging, a higher commission, what would that look like? And we start doing the math. And he's like, you're basically lighting dollars on fire to pick up pennies off the ground. You need to hire an agent or fire the client.
Right.
And I was too much of a wuss to fire the client. So I hired an agent. And
Here, deal with this. Here you go. I want a high five.
yeah.
I don't even
Sorry.
know. High fiving is like 1975.
I'm not sure.
I love it. I don't know. Yeah.
Yeah.
You weren't born. Go
I
ahead.
was not born then.
I'll text you a high five. That'll be all right.
So I was shocked when you took, because I really, just being straight with you, did not think you were going to take the advice.
Well, so that what I thought was really crazy about our conversation was that, like, we had the conversation. And I was like, okay, yeah, like, I got you. Thanks, Tom. You're great. Like, I appreciate it. And you're like, okay, well, like, when are you going to do it? Like adding in the accountability. I was like, oh, like, I'll get it done, man. I really appreciate it. Like, thanks so much for your time. I really, like, I know our 30 minutes is up. So, like, thank you, sir. Like, I'll talk to you later. And he's like, okay, no. He's like, I've got a few minutes. Like, I don't have a plane to catch for a few minutes so we can keep talking on this.
Yep.
I'm like, no, it's cool. And then you're like, well, so if you say you're going to do it in a week, like, let's circle back in a week. Like, let me
Sounds like
get on my
Tom.
calendar.
Does that sound familiar?
And I was like, shit, he's really going to make me do this. Because I'm like, if you're taking the time out of your day to, like,
Right.
hold me accountable, I'm like, shit, I really got to do this. So,
Freaking free call.
yeah, no, I know.
Right.
Like, I bought a
I know.
stupid book and won a call. Like,
Right.
the book was great, and then I had to deal with him. But,
You sound like my wife. She's like, and now I have to deal with him.
Yeah.
Kidding, honey, kidding. So you took that advice, and then your business technically skyrocketed, but it tanked. right? Because
Yeah.
you're
No, our
doing
prof- like-
less transactions,
yeah.
but you're making more money.
Yeah.
So talk to the listener about that transition. Because like you basically said, like, here is sort of an imaginary baby of 40 or 50 transactions at a massive discount, and she was still taking a split. You did take a split, right?
Yes.
She took
Yeah.
a split on the small transaction, but somebody else is now doing the work, freeing you up to go do what?
That was when we really started to double down on Sphere events, like making phone calls to our Sphere, social media, all
Right.
that.
Right.
So
Can I get where are we at in the journey here? Like, so
It's like
first year you're doing rentals.
2018,
that was
2019?
the end of 2018. We talked in August of 2018,
Yeah.
Okay. And what year did you start again?
2017.
17.
So 17 was all rentals. Then you pick up this corporate deal.
Yep.
And then your first year not doing rentals, he tells you to fire this person or bring on an agent, and you do. Okay. I just want to know where we
Yes.
were.
Yeah.
I'm just getting the journey.
All
now-
the backstory. We've already done like the backstory of the past year, like us, unpacking my.
I'm
you know,
slow.
business.
I got it. Takes a couple times, and I'll
Come on,
pick it up.
Jason. Chapter 2019. So
Read the index.
When did you have the audacity to say, okay, I'm going to scale and build a team, and like tell us all of the horror stories? Like give us the juicy, what was your most epic fail?
I don't think we have enough time for all of that, but I think that hiring people that I liked, I think was the first one, because like I think that we get distracted by people that are very similar to us and they don't necessarily fit the appropriate like disc profile or
Right.
personality for that role. So like
Right.
I hired a broker friend who's like a great person, a great agent, all of the things, but like she doesn't really want to grind as she didn't want to grind as much as we do. So like hiring her to like do all of the things like and be an operations manager didn't make sense. So like that
Right.
didn't work out. Hiring people that want to be agents as assistants, and then like they're like they want to be an agent, but like I want them as an admin, and they want to like cherry pick leads off the top.
Right. Every team leader's like, ouch. Yeah, I made that mistake. Yeah, I made that mistake.
No, hiring like Ryan and I he's gonna kill me for saying this, but like we accidentally hired an agent. I brought her in.
We accidentally
I brought her
hired an
in
agent.
for like a meet and greet, and he thought that it was her final interview. So he basically was like, "Hey, it's really great to like meet you. I'm really excited for you to start on the team." Blah 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 blah. And like I was like, "Shit, like I don't like her," and whatever. And so she joined the team for a little while until she decided to leave. But yeah, I mean, we just had a lot of epic
Because
fails.
we made her feel uncomfortable all the time.
Have you met me? No, but yeah, I mean, so we've had a lot of like trial and error, a lot of like.
What's the lesson though? What's the lesson in hiring?
I think that you have to have a process in it, and like so, one of the things.
So
now,
what's your process? Yeah.
So now what we do is we do onboarding, and we do multiple times per year, basically a new agent training class, or not even necessarily new agent, but new to our team agent training class, where it's now a 3-week process via Zoom and in person, where it's kind of like a long-term interview. So they join the brokerage, they may or may not join the team. And then basically at the end of the 3 weeks, like we come to a mutual decision on if it's a good fit for them to join the team. But
what do you look for during that? Because that all sounds great, but like, what do you look for? Like, what are the triggers along the way that yes, no, yes? Like,
Yeah.
How do you do that?
So we do basically like A to Z of like sales, operations, marketing, right? We do a lot of role play. We do a lot of like, script practice and things like that. So it's like if we were to say, hey, call a lead, and you do, and you're just like, do you want to see the house? Okay, cool, I'll meet you there. And then we're like, okay, hey, like try this LP Mama, try this.
Yeah.
And like, are they coachable? Are they showing up? We have like homework, like watch this
Yes.
Tom Ferry video,
Yeah.
clearly.
Yeah.
And, write down some notes and bring
Clearly.
it away. I have to suck up while I'm here, right?
When did you start to put all that stuff in place? Because you said it was kind of like chaotic before, and then all of a sudden,
Yeah, good
now you're
question.
like you're
Yeah.
speaking
Yeah,
on it
yeah.
as though like, well, now we do this, and this, like,
Yeah.
duh.
Yeah.
Like,
So
when did you get there?
We did it in 2020, which was last year, right? Yeah. So we did it in 2020 2 times, and then we did it this year 3 times, and then moving into next year, we're going to do it 6 times.
Yes.
Is
How
what
did
I've been told.
How did you figure out the process of what the onboarding would be? Like now you're saying like, oh, included Tom Ferry.
Yeah.
Like, how did you figure
Yeah.
out like?
And
I
did
guess
you
the
use
pieces?
like an LMS?
She's pretty fancy actually.
Okay.
It's pretty cool. I'll let you tell it, but it's impressive.
Yeah, I don't have my bag in here, but we have like a little workbook.
Yeah,
Right.
talk to us like we have apps, like we're 4th graders. We have no idea what you're talking about.
Yeah.
Like make it that like that detailed.
Yeah, so we start out with business plan, and like I want to know how much money they want to make, right? And then work the numbers of how many calls I need to make and appointments and all that stuff. Then I want to know like where they think their business is going to come from, and them do their business plan and all that. And then from there, sales, operations, marketing. So what, operations, sales, marketing?
Operations, marketing, sales.
Operations, marketing, sales. We've been arguing.
Ryan runs it a lot. He does. But like it's all. Tell him about the training. Tell him about your the LMS you guys are using too.
Yeah. So basically, then we're going to go into basically a week of sales, a week of marketing, and a week of operations. So like everything.
Like Monday through Friday, 8 hours a day training?
It's
like,
Monday
what does that
through
mean?
Friday. Our time commitment as team leaders and as the team is from 1 to 3 p.m.
Okay.
Either via Zoom or in person. And we'll have them do kind of like their homework of watching a video, reading some sort of, article or something. I don't know, reading something
Script
online.
training, whatever it is. Do something.
And then
Learn.
we come in and practice that. So we'll go through, I wish I had it pulled up, but like we'll go through disc profiles, we'll go through scripts, we'll go through buyer consultations, we'll go through the contract, we'll go through all of the addenda, the contract process from A to Z, from escrow to close.
So we would call that like total immersion training, right? Total immersion. Like I'm going to immerse you in everything. What have you learned coming out of that? Like how proficient are they? How long does it take before they're actually what we would call like a net effective salesperson?
Yeah. So we ran it last time in October, or we had agents join in October. So I guess we ran it in September. They joined in October. All of them have one under contract and or closed, right? And then one of them has 2 so far. Our goal is to get them to have a deal in their first 60 days, like joining the team for real.
Are you hiring new agents or experienced agents?
A combination. So new agents obviously is, it's a great program because they're, brand new and need it, right? And learning and all that.
Teach me everything, I'm clueless.
But
Not said in a mean way, but just new.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But we have had great experience with experienced agents that have been in the business for a year to 2 years, have seen some sales, have written a contract, opened a lockbox, done that.
Yeah.
To where, they just need more accountability, more training, and kind of just the team environment.
So why did you build such a complex system to onboard people?
Because I think that if they go through that and do the stuff, do the homework, do, the script practice, show up every day, that once they're actually on the team, they'll be there. But everyone interviews well. Everyone says they want to sell real estate.
Right.
Everyone says they enjoy looking at
This
homes.
is,
And you interview well, and then they get on the team, and they don't actually need to make money. They said they did, and they have no bills, and they're whatever, right? So it's a good way to see if they're willing to put in the work.
Just entered the building.
The wolf.
The wolf of real estate, ladies and gentlemen. We're in the middle of a podcast, but Erica, what's up?
Hi, guys.
You'll be over here in a minute. Okay.
Yeah.
So let's keep breaking this down. People are like, what the hell is going on at Tom
need the
Ferry's
behind-the-scenes
podcast
cam.
studio?
Yeah,
we do need we need the ADD cam.
Yeah.
It's right.
That's what we're gonna call it. Brian, can't we just get a drone in here at all times? Brian's really good on the drone. Okay, so you built it because people were probably failing and you were probably frustrated and you were realizing you were hiring the wrong people so you ran them through almost like a military-esque experience, or like IBM, if you joined IBM or Microsoft or Tom Ferry, you go through a learning process, and not every coach makes it, not every salesperson makes it. It's that was the concept?
Is it also because you didn't get that?
I wouldn't have been good in something like this. I'm not.
Interesting.
I'm not great at. I am good at following directions.
But you're a leader.
But I'm not great at people telling me what to do.
But I think one of the things a lot of agents,
Clearly.
hey, wait, unless they say, well, I got some extra time. My flight doesn't wait for a while.
That's how I get it.
That's right. I think a lot of agents who start out really strong, I think about a Phil Gertis, your story. There's so many rock star agents in our ecosystem who just 0 to 60 deals basically in their first year. Stephen Kim, yep. They just crush it. And then they hit a point where they need help, and there's sometimes an assumption that everybody's as aggressive and ambitious as I am. And then they come in and you realize, oh, they're really not. They're not wired like this. And so what I need is some kind of a scrub test or a filter that helps me separate the people who are all in versus those who are not going to be a part of this process, and end up draining the potential of what our scaling team model is supposed to be. I also think, tell them about the software you guys are using just to help run this, Trainually.
Yeah, so we're using Trainual right now.
Whatever.
It's an LMS, a learning management software.
Learning
Today's show is
management
brought to you
software.
by. Yes.
Yeah.
My discount code is.
Okay, Kyle Whistle. Love you, Kyle.
Anyways, so yeah, we basically have taken all of the modules and put them in there because like we have them all in Google Drive. So we took all of our policy and procedures, all of our, I'm working on getting all of our role play calls and everything into the system so that it's like a searchable system where once you're on the team, then you can hop in of like, hey, we did this role play or we did this, you know.
And it also checks the boxes that, you know, Katie went through this and that, right? So.
And also, how did you figure out like what to keep and what to remove from the training process? Did you do like surveys at the end of it, like let them know? Did you do one-on-ones? Like,
it's a good question. It's a great question. No, we did no surveys, but that's a good idea.
She's like, noted.
Let me write that down.
Adding someone new.
Yes. And then we do one-on-ones, so like, you know, kind of go over the highs, lows. The problem is like when I'm like, hey, what feedback do you have? Most people are like, I don't have any. It was great, thank you. You know, so
I'm gonna go fail over here in the corner.
Yeah. But
you don't exactly pack a lot of fluff in there either. Like if you know Katie, it's pretty much here's what I need you to know, and be able to be cognizant.
Let's go do more deadlifts.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's also part of the training. It's on week 3 deadlifts. Yeah.
For sure, of course. RDLs.
Step
Let's go.
1, start a gym. Step 2.
Right. Okay, so the lesson for the person listening right now that's thinking about scaling their sales team, and maybe sales team and then the mix of sales and support, admin, transaction management, marketing, before we start talking about some other marketing stuff, which I'm going to invite some of these cast of characters to join us. What would you say would be the 2 or 3 most important insights or lessons for someone that wants to grow sales and admin appropriately at the same time so everybody gets served and we do a lot of business?
One of the things I always tell people when they say they want to start a team is that they need to start getting stuff like out of their head and onto paper. So for something as simple as showing a home, as open houses, as what your initial phone call with a client, what do you do when you hang up that phone? Like, do you then go into the MLS and set up a portal? Do you put them in the CRM? Like, getting super detailed on all of those things because, again, as you said, like, you expect people to do it the way you're going to. Like, when we would go, like, check on our agents in open houses, like, lights wouldn't be on and the blinds would be closed. Like, what the hell are you doing? You know? But, like, some of those things just, like, don't make sense. Like, you're like, oh, it doesn't need to be light in the house. It's fine, right? So getting everything out of your head and onto paper, I think, is the first. Is the first. I mean, you'd be
no, SOP. It's the Mary Jet 101. Like everything has to be an SOP. You are a genius. Even like when I said, so break down your onboarding, you were like, you went little bits and pieces of it high level. And we're like, no, go deeper. It's the same thing when you're asking for somebody like, hey, this is how we do an open house.
Yeah.
You know, we show up 30 minutes early. The signs are already out. We make sure this is done. We light and bright this, right? Walk through the house, make sure there's nothing strange that's sitting out, right?
Yeah.
You get that on paper, then you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
Anybody?
Yeah, I mean, it's like if it's
like,
not in the checklist,
they're
it never
into some
happened.
weird stuff. Yes, exactly. Remove all weird things.
Yes.
So one is
Such
SOPs.
as.
Get it out of your head. I have a totally funny story to tell you later.
I want to hear it.
No, not on this podcast. No, it's not. But it's good.
Can't wait.
Sorry, leaving you hanging. What's the number 2 thing? So I want to scale my sales team and my admin at the same time, the right way, profitably. What else do I need to do?
I mean, I think that it's a delicate balance, but I think you need to hire admin before you hire agents. Because obviously you have your stuff all organized now because you have all these SOPs, right? But then we hired an agent first, right? Yeah. And like, we still didn't have a lot of stuff organized. Like, I was still doing transaction management at that point. Like, so really when I gave up that business, I was still like,
you were still the
pushing
TC.
Shit through. Yeah, you know, so I was still the TC. So like, you know, you have to get out of your own head. When we hired a good TC, she had left to go into like therapy and stuff like that. After working with us, she had to go into therapy as a therapist, not into therapy.
Sure.
But, you know, whatever. Sure. But no, like once I had a good TC and like they were doing all the paperwork, like I literally would just take documents and forward them to her. I didn't even have to say what they were.
Right.
She would just figure it out and do it and tell me what I did wrong. Right.
Yeah.
How many, was it a first try or how many tries?
No. She was our 3rd hire.
So what's the lesson there? Because I think this is a big one for a lot of agents. They get an admin or they get somebody who's not the right fit for the role. But I hear again and again that it took me my 3rd or my 4th try to find the right person.
Well, I think that it depends on what the job is. So like our first try was hiring someone that did both marketing and TC, and those are 2 different people, right?
Yep.
Like, but I was just thinking I need an admin, and like I'm very marketing focused, and I am good at paperwork. Like I'm a like DC personality. Like I don't have much eye. DC?
Really?
DC.
I really don't.
I'm kidding.
I'll pull out my desk.
I'm kidding.
Pull out my desk for you.
It's obvious.
Yeah. Okay.
Yes, I got you.
Anyways, so like in my head.
Hi, I'm Katie Day. It's very nice to meet you. I'm really excited to be here. I was like, hold back your enthusiasm.
Yeah, well, Anyways, so
The book was great.
yeah.
Yes. Okay. So the delicate balance, hiring the right disc profile.
So finding the right people for the right positions. And yeah, I mean, I think that's really important. But the admin should come first.
Is
before
there
the team.
Is there a profile solution software that you find that you liked more? Insight versus Bank versus Disc versus Strengths Finder, like.
I mean, we use Disc and like Crystal knows obviously, like and just kind of search them out, right, and see, because like I want people in positions. I tell them that I want them to be drivers, and I want them to tell me when I need to do things or that things need to be done. But like my TC that left, like she and I butted heads to the point that like we would like hang up the phone on each other and like things like that. But like when we left, like I was like, can I pay you more money? No. Like, can I buy you another cat? Like, what can we do to keep you on the team?
Why was I getting called out for that?
Cat lady.
Like a cat on your shirt.
Right.
But yeah, no, I mean, so like, finding the right personalities and finding like the ones that are going to mesh
For sure.
with you, because like
Yes.
you're going to do a lot with them and they're going to support your business.
Yeah.
Did you put a timeline on that, like a 30, 60, 90? Like when did you decide like, oh, this isn't a good fit?
Probably I decided in my head way sooner than when it actually happened, because that's what most people do is they get like
Right.
complacent and like scared and whatever and throw away money. But yeah, I mean, I think that looking back on it now, like you know way sooner than when you actually pull the trigger.
So what do you say to somebody? Because I think a lot of people, they think to themselves, well, maybe my expectations were too big. Maybe I don't know what to expect or what's reasonable for this person, this role, until you find that person. Then you look back and you're like, oh, I should have done this way sooner. What do you say to somebody who's kind of questioning that now?
I think that if it's in your gut, your gut's probably right. Like just initial like snap decision, right? Like it's probably the right thing to do is to like let that person go or find another person. But like I think some of it's just training. Like so I look back on some of our hires and I'm like, okay, like I didn't spend enough time because I assumed that you knew how to do it, or I showed you once. Like you need to put the time in on the training to make sure that they're the right person and give them the full opportunity to succeed or fail.
Yeah.
It's good.
I think too many team leaders think of like someone joining their team as like a listing. Like even though it's stale and it's ugly and it's not dressed well and it's never going to sell. What if it does?
One day.
Right? But what if it does? And if someone else gets it? Versus like cut bait and move on. Right? Like it's just, and there's a graceful way to do that, obviously. Did you make any bad fires?
I mean, some people may say so.
Sure.
They may say so. I don't know.
You're like, my lack of green in terms of my disc profile.
Like survey.
Survey says, yes, you did.
Courtney's like, where's the exit interview? I'm like,
Yes.
what? I just told you I'd pay you for your 2 weeks and see you later. No.
Right.
No, and like in full transparency too, like Ryan, my husband, is far better at like the feelings and emotions and all that. So he's great at telling people like that he really appreciates them and they're no longer with the company.
You went back waving.
Now,
And I was just like,
do more deadlifts.
Yeah.
You're flabby. Get out of here.
We've never said that.
You've thought it, I guarantee. Right. Okay. So this is going to be one of those fun podcasts. We're going to transition now. I want to talk marketing and I want to talk video.